Hey guys, welcome back. I know you've missed me. I've been a little busy. So I wanted to talk about when your med school just sucks. All right, it's the dilemma of every medical student. What are you going to do about that? How are you going to make it up? Let me give you an example. There's a kid I rotated with. He went to med school in North Dakota, all right? And his med school didn't let him do more than two away rotations because they made him go back for a rural medicine rotation. So he only got to do two orthopedic aways. I got to do an unlimited amount. I ended up doing four. And what happened? I didn't match, and he matched into ortho. So does it really matter that your med school sucks? Here's the thing I hear from med students. I said it before too. Okay, the lectures, terrible. PowerPoints, crappy quality, unorganized, doesn't make sense. Oh, what about the tests? Oh man, unreasonable question. My med school sucks. What am I gonna do about it? You know, might as well give up entirely on the whole journey. What about the whole system? Okay, you know, the way that you apply the residency, the match, the process, it just sucks. My dean didn't provide me enough information. My advisor didn't tell me the right thing to do. All right, my program director at my like my orthopedic or my surgery home program isn't supporting me enough. My med school just sucks. That's the reason I'm a second year med student and I'm not happy. That's the reason I'm a third year med student. I'm not happy. I'm probably not going to get anything that I want in life because my med school sucks. So here's the solution to it. One, all right, you have to make up the difference, okay? And the first step of taking initiative is you can give feedback. If you're a first and second year med student, you can't just tell your professor, because I actually had a conversation with one of my deans about this. And she was like, well, if you just tell us, like, this lecturer, this professor sucks, there's nothing we can do about that. That makes no sense. It doesn't give us anything to work on. If you say they suck at lecturing because they're not projecting their voice enough, they're not enunciating, their PowerPoints don't make sense because it's not organized, and they're not following the curriculum of the school, they're not establishing the outline that they sent out. If you give actual feedback, and that's actually happening in med school where other students, definitely not me, but someone else who cares enough to go out of their way to give actual feedback did, and there was some changes. Did the changes matter? Well, for me it didn't, because what happened? I still didn't match. Why? Because it's up to you to make up for this suckiness. You can't say to yourself, I'm not going to help myself because someone else who I think is supposed to help me isn't doing enough. All right? Do you understand that statement? You can't tell yourself, I'm not going to help myself because someone else who I think owes me to help me out, to do this for me, isn't doing it. So I'm just going to stay over here giving up, sour, sulking. When you think that your med school sucks, the only solution to it is for you to make up for it. Okay? What does that mean? If you don't have a home ortho program, you do away rotations. If you reach out to the general surgeons at your program and they don't connect with you in the way that you think is appropriate, then you just reach out more. You reach out again. You talk to the residents. The answer to every problem of my med school isn't doing enough is I can do more. All right? Why am I telling you this? Because you're going to start med school soon. Some people starting this month or next month in August or whatever, okay? And it's not going to go the way you expect it necessarily. All right? It didn't go for me the way I expected it. My first 6 months of med school were terrible because I didn't know what to do. Because I thought, well, why isn't the school better at this thing and at that thing? And the real answer is, why am I not making up the difference? Why am I not taking advantage of the opportunities that they've given me, however small or however sucky I perceive them to be at the time? Okay, to the best of my ability, take advantage of those opportunities and then create new opportunities. Okay, and so that's all. I mean, it's not a big video, but the lesson is you think your med school sucks, you think you're right. Okay, well, now what? You know more than your dean. Great. Go out there and apply it. And it's actually a true thing because there was a when I worked as a scribe before medical school. I worked with an ED doctor in Hawaii. Okay, and he told me his med school interview. All they asked him was, "Oh, you're on the swim team. You know how fast can you swim? What's your favorite pool? What's your favorite lake?" And he was like, "We just had some banter, me and the dean, and I got into med school." Now, what's the situation, right? Your MCAT, your research, your volunteering, your grades, your recommendation letters. They know your whole life, your whole transcript. It's digital, nothing is missed. Every semester that you were absent or withdrew from school or anything like that, every summer, it's accounted for. So, what's the truth? Okay, here's the truth: your med school sucks because the people there have more experience than you, but actually, the generation of med students now is smarter than those who are teaching them. You work harder, you've been through more hoops. So don't be so mad at your dean because they're not as bright as you. No, help them and help yourself by pushing up.